Hey everyone, and welcome to the launch of a very beautiful book with two very beautiful and lovely authors with me, Advika and Sanvi. Hey guys, and welcome to your book launch. I am Devanshi, and I welcome you all to the book launch of My Dream Defines Me, a book that's about a beautiful relationship, dreams, and a journey. Today, we are having two lovely authors, and their journey is worth hearing through. So, I am Devanshi Sharma, publisher at Mithaas Services, welcoming all of you to the book launch. We will start with a quick conversation with the lovely authors who have written this book in, I think, their quarantine days, right? So, that is the beauty of utilizing the time, and also something that teaches us that every moment, every minute is precious. And when you start using that moment, each moment together builds a tangible success at the end. So, welcome, little authors, to your book launch.
Yeah,
Okay. So, how are you guys feeling? Is my first question to both of you.
really good, like really excited. Yeah.
Ah, okay, lovely. So, before going ahead with it, why don't you tell us about yourself? Like, what are you doing right now? In which grade are you? So, let's begin with Sanvi and then we'll come to Advika. You want to tell us about yourself, Sanvi?
So my name is Samvi Balani. I'm in seventh grade and I live in USA, Texas. I like drawing, painting. I like art mostly, and I'm really into writing stories.
Okay, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Sanvi, you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Sam.
Uh, Advika.
I'm Advika Single and I'm in seventh grade too. I also live in Texas, USA, and I also like painting and I like reading and dancing and singing. And writing a book has been like a really nice experience for me. Yes.
That's lovely. That's lovely. So that also takes me to this question that since both of you mentioned that you have a lot of other hobbies, but then writing a book in itself, like being an author, I know that it is a complete journey in itself, right? It's not really that you pick up the laptop and you start writing. It takes a lot behind the scenes as well. So I want to know from both of you that how has your writing journey been? How have you started writing? When did you guys get this idea? So give us a little bit sneak peek into that.
My writing it's been really enjoyable. Like it's really fun working with my friend. We like started the idea of like writing a book during a conversation. We were just talking, and then we thought of the idea of writing a book because we like both love reading, and it was just a fun experience. So we just did it for fun. We didn't have like any idea that it was gonna be published. It was like it was a big surprise for us.
Right.
Like I think in the start we gave each other like a week or two for brainstorming ideas. So like what we did, we shared a Google Doc and we just wrote down any ideas of stories that came up into our mind,
Sure.
and then we decided on the final one, which was we had like our first idea was like doing space and science and all, and like we both collaborated by the idea through the book because my idea was the whole storyline of the book, and like as we were writing through that we didn't really like the idea of space because we didn't have that much knowledge about space and science. So
Yeah.
Vika's idea, she had the idea of having a dream and having art and singing. So like we both collaborated. We had like different days in
Yes.
which we did like we had a specific day where we did writing, we were editing, we were, and then we just had some fun days that we just took time off. And we used to like for inspiration. Some days we used to go on this platform called Canva. It's like a really good platform. We used to just like make book covers and just for fun to like boost our morale. And just find more inspiration for us.
Yeah, and we used to like go outside too, and like we used to observe around us, and if we found anything, we would create this little scenario in our head, and then when we got home, we would type. We had the separate doc that had like ideas or like scenarios we want like the book to have, so we have it in like order, so it's easier to type it in, and so we had that, and then we used to like create the scenario in our head and then go back home, write it down, so and then the next day when we started writing, we would input that scenario in the book, so it would enhance the storyline and the whole book. It would make it more interesting and really realistic, so
Oh,
yeah.
lovely. So, I am just mesmerized listening to your journeys, how you use a software to get inspired, how you use the small little things around to kind of, get more details into your book. And let me, tell you this glimpse about writing, girls, because I'm sure that you haven't really, spoken to a lot of writers. But here's what goes behind the writing process that I kind of speak to a lot of writers through the globe, and most of them get stuck in getting the inspiration right. When you both were talking, your inspiration bit was flowing through. You were like, you want inspiration, take some from me, we have a lot of that. And I think that's the beauty of you guys writing it at that point of time, no? I mean, you don't really need somebody to tell you that, hey, do this, or hey, write this. You already had that inspiration and you knew how you were motivating yourself. So that's a very beautiful thing. And I think at such a tender age, I am going to tell my workshop mates to, listen to your story and get inspired in the future. That is a short thing I'm going to do. So that's quite interesting. And now tell me about your story. So this is a story which is a very mature idea. It's a story which kind of teaches a lot through the way you have narrated it, and also the way of your narration, your vocabulary, the way you present your ideas is definitely beyond, something I will expect from a kid your age. So that is such a commendable task that you guys have done. And that's why I always say that writing or creativity is not time bound or age bound. It's actually something that comes from the heart, and I think that is how your story is written too. So tell me about your story's idea. How did you guys, think of this idea?
Wanted to do like something inspirational. We didn't want to do like we really like the idea of inspirational story. So that's why how we came up with the idea. We did like hobbies and all. So like as I said at first we did space and science, and then we went into singing and art.
Yes, that's true. And also I think this kind of highlighted one thing for a lot of people who will be watching us later, that when you are writing something, it's absolutely important to know that particular genre. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Okay. So, when you say that, you started with an idea, your first discussion, both of you have a very friendly bond. I can see that very clearly. So, how was like that conversation? Do you remember the first conversation on your book?
I think I think we're talking about books.
Yeah, we were talking about like our favorite books, and we were like, it would be so cool if we were like authors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, wait, why don't we just start writing a book? And then, yeah, and then like the next day, because we were still in school, it was after like right after quarantine started, so we were still in school. So we
Right.
were doing virtual learning, and then we were like, why don't we just like after we finish our homework, why don't we just start like brainstorming some ideas and stuff?
True.
And so we started brainstorming, and we did it in secret. We did not tell our
Yeah.
parents. We wanted to surprise them, but
Right.
yeah.
Right. So, that also brings me to one really important aspect, that you guys said that this was a surprise. Now, how did you manage to write a book, keeping it a small little secret of yours? And like, how were you then collaborating on calls or on messages? I know that you had a very organized way, like Sanvi, you were mentioning also that one day I would do this, the other day we would do this. So that's a very organized way of writing. But how did you manage to keep this secret? This is only a question for all the lovely ones who want to write and want to keep it a little secret. So you want to give them a bit of gyan?
Cause like since we were in school, we had like this easy excuse that this is part of schoolwork and stuff, and we used to do Zoom calls when our parents were like busy or something, and they didn't have time to come in our room and stuff. So we had Zoom calls and like Google Meets, and we used to talk. And yeah, she said we used to have the excuse of like discussing homework. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. That's I think amazing. And also, when you said, Advika, that we were just going through our books, and we thought that it would be so cool if we became authors ourselves. So tell me, both of you, about your reading journey as well, because do you agree, first of all, that to become a good writer, it's absolutely necessary to be a good reader?
Yeah, you just not like necessarily a good reader, but just have interest in like understanding books.
Yeah, like if I feel like if you read, you know, like like when like the whole plot line of how it should go, like for the climax goes in the near the end, or like how do you a resolution, and you get like more ideas into like just starting blank.
Right, right, right. That's absolutely right. And when we say so, tell me, both of you, about your reading journey. Like, what I kind of grew up on the comics when I was, very young. Tintin and Enid Blyton were things that I used to read when I was young. So, how did you start reading? And then, what are your favorite authors and books today?
I think my first ever book was it was those baby books, and then when I like started growing up, I think my first favorite book was a book by Jeremy Stilton. I
Yes.
don't know if you know. Yeah, like he was like I love those books, like the books he wrote. I mean, I don't know who the author is it Jeremy Stilton or not,
Yeah.
but like yeah, so I really love those books. I had a whole collection in India when I was young.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those were my first ever favorite books. Then I went into like Scarlet and Ivy, and then Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Then I started reading more young adult books like Hunger Games, Divergent,
Yes.
and stuff. So yeah, I really liked reading
Okay.
from a very young age.
Yeah,
That's
So
amazing.
I
Yes.
think I think my favorite book, like my first book, I think like the one that I really got into was Dork Diaries. Like it was like a major, big, um, like obsession and
Yeah.
like over
Yeah.
over that. And I had read it. It was like one of my like my first favorite series that I really liked. And then like yeah, as she said, as I go grew older, I started exploring different more genres, and liking different interests and all. My favorite author would be J.K. Rowling. I
Uh-huh.
wasn't really like her books, like and so like in living in India, like I didn't really know much like really I didn't have variety of books that I knew. Like when I came to here, she suggested me like Harry Potter books. I had like a book I started reading, like I think because I didn't really understand what it meant, because over there I think of well coming here I think my English has improved a bit more, so then I understand more.
Yeah.
So I really got into, and she suggested me a lot of books, and I've got interest in a lot of more books.
yeah,
Like Hunger Games.
I was like coming just from England. So like you know how J.K. Rowling lives in
Yes.
England. So like Harry Potter was like a really great obsession over there. So
Yes.
that's how I got into Harry Potter. Because like everyone loved Harry Potter in England.
True. True.
So I read that series. I finished it, and then I told her I used to be crazy obsessed with it. Like I was like, read Harry Potter, read. And then she
Yeah.
finally picked up the first book and she read it and she also loved it. And then, yeah.
That's quite interesting. I kind of visited one of the colleges in Delhi University a few years later, a few years back, and there's a group of kids who have actually created a club named Potterheads, and they just have every discussion around Harry Potter. And I'm going to give you the secret that I haven't read much of J.K. Rowling. So when I went there, you guys were like, we don't know you. I am just disowning you, Devanshi, right now. I got that. So when I went
No.
there for a session, these guys just showed me each and everything. Yeah, with every element of that book, they have created something so beautiful. So I can completely imagine the world that Harry Potter builds for us, right? It's a very beautiful, different fantasy world. So I think that's beautiful. And my next question is actually related to this, that when you are reading something fantasy, do you think your first idea was slightly inspired from the space idea, that let's create a different world? Is that true?
Yeah, I actually, so we wanted to start fantasy, right? But since we thought we didn't have enough time because we had school and summer, and and then in seventh grade,
Yeah.
we now have like normal Zoom classes. So our classes end really late.
Yeah.
So we don't have that much time now to like write our story. So we were like, we have to finish it during the summer. So that's why in fantasy, you need like a lot of imagination and you need a lot of time to come up with all the world and the characters.
Yes.
So that's why we went with something more like basic and but still inspirational.
True, true.
Yeah.
I think one very important aspect about your story is relatability. I think, when somebody reads it, it's not really another world, but a world that everyone can relate to. So I think that's like the unique aspect of your story, right? That's interesting. So, apart from this, apart from writing, are you guys interested in singing yourself?
Really like singing and we do like mini duets and it's kind of fun.
Then I
Yeah.
don't think I should miss out this chance of asking you guys to sing one for us in the book launch.
Okay.
So we have our lovely authors sharing their glimpse of singing with us. Go ahead, guys.
We're going through. I thought that you were fine. Why did you have to hide? I didn't want to let you down, but the truth is out. It's tearing me apart. Not listening to my heart. I really had to go, and I would never stop you, even though we changed to change. You can find me in the space between. When two worlds come to meet, we'll never be out of reach. 'Cause you're a part of me, so you can find me in the space between. You'll never be alone, no matter where you go. We can meet in the space between. Nothing can stay the same. It's growing pains. Be proud of all your scars. They make you who you are. I know you have to stay, but I'll never really leave you. Nothing has to change. Even though we change, you can find me in the space between. Where two worlds come to meet, I'll never be out of reach. 'Cause you're a part of me, so you can find me in the space between. We'll never be alone, no matter where you go. We can meet in the space between.
Woohoo! You guys are rock stars, man. I mean, how do you get a package like this where you are such rock stars? You write so well and you have such amazing thoughts. Superb. And I think I was able to imagine the storyline when you guys were singing, So that's something that was going on in my mind when I was hearing you guys. That's amazing. That's great. Okay, so now coming to one last bit, I think because I know you guys are staying up late, so I will not take much of more of your time. But I want to ask you guys that you said that it is a secret that you had been keeping with you. So now tell us about that moment of reveal to mom, dad, how that moment came in, and I know for a fact that they've been very supportive throughout. So what do you feel happened after your secret came out to your parents?
I think it was easier for us to write together, right?
Yeah.
Because like now that they knew, we didn't have to go in hiding, and we had like a lot more time since they knew. So that's why we didn't need to like a fake explanation.
True,
Yeah, they
true.
were really surprised when we told them. They were really surprised. They were, like I said, they were very supportive, and they they really liked the idea, and they were encouraging us to like keep going.
Yeah, there was a time like in the middle we actually started to give up
Yeah, yeah.
because we didn't expect us to get this far. We had really low
Yeah.
expectations. And so we were like, it's just gonna be like a 180-page document that's gonna be in our drive forever. And then for some reason a miracle happened and we continued writing, and yeah, I'm really glad we didn't give up that time.
That's beautiful. I think isn't that the beauty of having a support behind you, that you know that it's all right, that if you are not feeling the zeal, but somebody is trusting your idea. So you thought that that kind of gave you that push to bring this miracle out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And I think I've worked with them very closely through the journey, and they've been very, intrigued, and, throughout they've been so motivated with the story themselves. So that's a very beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's lovely. Okay. So, guys, do we now show the book to everyone? Are, and I'm going to click on your book, our book, My Dreams Defines Me, and we're going to launch it for everyone to read. So here is our book. The ebook version is right here. Many congratulations, both little lovely authors.
Thank you.
You can see your book.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yes, so I think this is that virtual moment of the book launch. Everyone watching us, this is the book that we have been talking about. This is the book that these two lovely little authors that I have enjoyed talking to have worked really hard, and they shared their behind the scenes with us today. And I was really lucky to be part of this conversation. So you could get your copy right away from Amazon, and it's available worldwide. So here is our book. Let me try zooming on it. So here's our book. You guys want to talk about the moment of the book launch? How are you feeling?
Yeah, we are like so happy to finally see our book on Amazon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And I'm also very glad to see both of you happy with it. And also, my last bit before I let you go, because I honestly want to continue this for another half an hour, because I am absolutely enjoying hearing both of you. But I just want to ask you, going one by one, that how do you, suggest your writing tips or writing experience to other writers? So, a lot of people want to write, and this is something I hear very often, that Devanshi, we want to write, but we just don't feel how do we complete it. So you both have completed a book together, and it's not like a very chotu book, it's a proper 180 pager book. So what do you want to tell the other writers about your journey, and what can they learn from you both?
doing that, because like if you take in like what other people say, it builds in a lot of negativity, and I feel that it's just not good, because your mind just goes negative.
Mm-hmm.
And like writing should be like something that shouldn't be forced out of you. It should be done it should be done like by your own will, and it should be done for fun, not just like work.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think you should like trust your instincts. Like, don't be like, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
This is gonna turn out horrible. Because that, yeah, like as she said, it builds negativity, and that completely changes the tone of your book. Because you're like, you do it with less interest, and then you're like, oh my God, this isn't gonna work. And then, yeah, so like if you start with happy thoughts, like, I can do this, I'm gonna do my best at it, it will make your book a lot more happier, brighter, and interesting.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, and like also you should like go with the flow. Don't like start cramming lots of scenarios in one place, because it makes the reader a bit confused,
Yes.
Yeah.
like what's going on, like is it this or this and this. So like have one scenario, elaborate on it, then take a second one, so it's like a river and not like a rocky up and down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you should set goals for yourself, like, so like you should set goals, so like you see what you want to achieve, like in 2 days time, 1 month time, like you see your vision at the end of the book, like, and make sure your goal is reasonable. Like for some people, 5 pages, writing 5 pages a day is a lot, and for some people it's just too less. So like everybody has their everybody writes differently. Everybody works by their own pace. So you should don't push yourself to like, oh, I need to finish that. I need to finish 5 pages. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. It should like I said, it should be done by your own will. You shouldn't be forced.
True.
Yeah, and like also have a storyline in your head. Don't just start out blank. Like brainstorm some ideas or like storylines, because the storyline is basically the main soul of the whole book.
True.
And like without the storyline, a book isn't a book. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
don't compromise anything to change the storyline, because your storyline has to stay the same, otherwise it will change. If it changes, it will be really confusing, and it
Yeah.
won't sound that good, because like as I said, it's like the main part of the book. It's what makes a book a book.
Because like if you don't even have to use the idea that you're writing down. It's just like as a backup, like if this idea doesn't work, I know that I have a backup and I can use that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and like revising and editing is probably the main part of the book,
Yes.
because that's what like makes the book like more graceful and stuff. So that when you're like finished writing the book for the first time, I would suggest rereading it, but you should vanish all the thoughts you have in your head about the book. So you're like acting like you're reading the book from a brand new start, like
Yes.
just opening the book up for the first time. So like it gives you a different aspect and like a different perspective,
Again.
so you can see what things you missed and what things you should like add, so the readers will be more like um knowledgeable of what's going on and not just clueless about what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like what we did, like as a teacher said, what we did, we had like what we both wrote us each chapter separately. So we had discussed like what's gonna happen in this chapter, what's gonna happen in this, and I wrote chapter one, she wrote chapter two, and then what we did on that's what we did on the writing days to save time, and also on our revising days we went to each other's to like see like get a different point, so you can hear a different point of view, like so it really helps, because if you there's some things like, because if you know if there's a lot of plot points, if you know that this is going to happen, you think it's not noticeable that this is going to happen, but from a different point of view they can like say that this is really noticeable what's going to happen in the end.
True, true, true. Absolutely. In fact, I think it all comes down to that thing that you guys mentioned, that, it's not the need to write, it's the want to write a book that should come through the heart, right? I absolutely second that. And now the last question, I promise the last one, is that if you had to define your co-author, that is, if Sanvi had to define Advika and Advika, you had to define Sanvi, how would you do that? I just want to know how much did you fight also, because in the creative space there are moments like, no, we want this, I want this. So what was it co-authoring a book, because it's one of the most difficult things that people find. So how was your understanding together? How are you two bonded together after writing the book?
So we were actually friends like since we were born.
Yes.
So we're really close. And then so when we were finding like the storyline of the book, right? We brainstormed many ideas, and then we had turns like during process of elimination. So she went first. She like eliminated the idea she didn't like. I eliminated the idea I didn't like. And then when we came down to one idea, we both liked that idea. So then we started writing it on that. And since we had each like our own chapters to write, we could do whatever we want, and then the other person could go and like edit it.
Yeah.
So it was like more, yeah, it was like a really nice time with
Ah,
it, like
lovely.
as a
Yeah.
team.
That's lovely.
Like if we actually had a fight when we did, if we like had a different ideas on what you want to do, like if I want to do this and you want to do this,
Mhm.
then what we did, we try to make sure that both ideas get collaborated. How can we make both ideas combine into one, like our full storyline? My idea was the whole storyline and space, but she didn't like space and she liked art and singing, and she wanted to be art and singing. So I had my plot line, she had her hobbies, and so we like, both combined it to make one. So we both get our ideas.
That's
Yeah.
that's such a beautiful way of putting it out, Sanvi, that you said that we took the ideas and we thought of a middle ground. That's, I think, the best thing that anybody listening to us can do to co-author a book. I think that's the understanding that we require. So that's beautiful. Okay, so that's, I think, about it from the question answer side that I had. And I know that I just wanted to know so much more of your behind the scene, that I kept on asking. So sorry to keep you guys waiting there, but but I just want to know if you want to say anything as a parting word to our audience.
We just thought that they're gonna publish it, but you guys did so much. Like you guys edited our script. You had suggestions. You did plagiarism check. You added illustrations, and the book cover, we both
It
really
was
loved
really
it.
good. Yeah, and you guys spent so much effort and time. Like I was just talking to her about it. Like you didn't miss a single day, and you like when we emailed you guys, you like replied within an hour, unless it was like sleeping time at your place. But yeah, you guys like were like really supportive, and like we kept on like you never got you never like stopped emailing us and like telling us that like this is done, this is done, this is done. And like we were just so grateful that we actually found Mithaas.
It's so worth it when you say that. Thank you so much, both of you. Yes, that's amazing. So I think with that, we come to the end of our book launch, which I don't really want to, but yes, I'm sure that we'll keep on meeting. You will keep on writing, and we'll keep on discussing stories in the future as well. But thank you so much, both of you, Advika and Sanvi, for being here. And also, one thing that I would personally like to add to both of you is that both of you make for such beautiful authors, because not just you write good, but you think very well. And I think that is the baseline to any creative thing, being a very good human being. So I'm so glad that I could have this conversation with you, and I am taking back a lot of things from both of you. I'm learning a lot from both of you today. So thank you, both of you, for being here.
Thank you for making our dream come true and helping
Yeah.
us through the journey.
Thank Thank you so much. And I really hope that our book does well. For everyone watching us, you can get a copy of the book from Amazon. When times in India become better, we're going to have the paperback also available on Amazon. But right now, you could go and check out the Kindle version right away. It's available worldwide. So I think you must go, and must in capital letters, you must go and check out the book right now. And thank you both, the lovely authors, Advika and Sanvi. Thank you so much for your time.